Sportscenter. Coming up, the Game 7 that everybody had been hoping and expecting to see all season. Can the Kings dethrone the champs, or will the Lakers move on to their third straight NBA Finals, where the subject of our Sunday conversation awaits?
It's been a great ride, and this is something that, as a kid you dream about.
Lots of conversation starters on Sunday, like starting pitchers swinging like designated hitters. We had a rubber match in the Bronx, some burning rubber in Dover, sparks flying in Cleveland, and of course, we had Barry trying to pass Frank Robinson on the home run list.
I'm Jerry Rice of the Oakland Raiders, and I'm your host for SportsCenter Plays of the Week.
We've got a few of those. Speaking of gardening, quite a few seeds got planted at the French Open Sunday. Like we said, lots of conversation starters on SportsCenter. Next.
Greetings. Welcome to SportsCenter with Rich Eisen. I'm Dan Patrick.
In a way, we could say welcome to Area 51. The Kings hosting their first Game 7 since 1951 and could gain their first NBA Finals berth since 1951 by beating the Lakers in a playoff series for the first time since 1951. To Sacramento we go. And Shaq in his locker is a picture, a quote from Vlade Divac. If the Lakers don't have home court advantage this year, they're not going to win it. Yeah, another reason for Shaq to be focused entering a Game 7. That is not ring around the rosy. That is getting ready for a big, huge winner-take-all game. Early on, Chris Webber working down low. He had 6 points in the first. Kobe Bryant, who entered Arco Arena wearing a Joe Montana jersey, jamming it home with two hands early on. Still in the first, Kings down 5. Who do they turn to? Vlade Divac. Nice spin move on Shaq. Second quarter. Lakers down 1. Robert Horry passed it to Shaq for the hoop and the foul. Shaq made the free throw. Lakers by 2.
Later in the second, Kings down 3. Bobby Jackson will blow by 3 Lakers, and the Kings down 1. We stay in the second quarter. Lakers on the break. Kobe takes it in for the lay-in. Jackson fouls him from behind. Kobe had 18 in the first half. Still in the second, Kings by 1. Peja Stojakovic, no, but Webber is there. He had 14 in the first half. Later in the second, the Lakers are down 5. Robert Horry dumps it in for Shaq. He had 18 in the first half. Under a minute left in the half, the Kings by 4. Webber to Scott Pollard. Kings by 2 at the break.
Third quarter, Kings by 5. Webber, he'd been dishing all night out of double teams. Finds Divac. Kings by 7 later in the third. It's still a 7-point game, but here comes Kobe to change that. The drive. And 1. No, just fouled by Divac. It's his 4th. For Vlade, he goes to the bench. And the Lakers take off from there. Kobe for 3. Cuts the lead to 3. It's a 2-point game later in the third. Derek Fisher drives. No. Shaq, grabs it with 4 Kings around him, jams it home. Kings by 1 after 3.
Fourth quarter, 3 minutes left. Kings down 3. Mike Bibby, who proved to be the star of this team, the leader of this team. 2 minutes to go. It's Bibby calling again. His father, Henry Bibby, played on those great UCLA teams, also played in the NBA. He's USC's head coach. Next Lakers possession, Robert Horry. Talk about clutch. Lakers by a deuce. Under a minute to go, we're tied at 96. Off the Fisher miss, the scramble, and Vlade will pick up his 6th foul and can't believe it. Maybe a no call, but tough to make that call. Bibby, though, comes right back. Kings by 2. After 2 Kobe free throws, Kings down 1. Stojakovic. Talk about a play you would diagram with maybe the best shooter on the floor, although playing with a tender ankle. He misses. Shaq gets fouled, makes the second free throw. Lakers by a deuce. 10 seconds to go. Kobe tying up Bibby, and he gets called for the foul. Bibby over 80% from the line. Knocks them both down. He had 25. We're tied at 100 with 8 seconds to go. 8 seconds to go. The Lakers try to go to Kobe. Can't. Christie playing good D. Shaq out of his range, guarded closely by Webber, and we go into overtime. In overtime, we're tied at 102.
Anytime he's out there.
Bibby off the inbounds pass. Was there anything he didn't do in this series? Kings by 2. Shaq, tough fadeaway. Knotted at 106. After 2 Shaq free throws, Kings down 2. Turkoglu to Weber. And the Kings have to foul. 28 seconds to go. The Kings are down 2. Bibby, Christie. And it's almost as if he didn't want to take it because he'd been struggling. And it showed. Kings would eventually foul Fisher. And the Lakers pick up the victory with some late free throws. The Lakers are going to the NBA Finals again. Kobe and Mike Bibby. Kobe saying, please don't do that to me again. Lakers earning their 27th trip to the Finals. Just the 5th playoff game in NBA history to go into overtime, but the first time in a conference final. Shaq 35-13. Kobe 30-10. Let's go to Rick Adelman. His thoughts after the Kings were eliminated.
You know, we're not about who takes shots. I mean, that's all. Somebody else could talk about that. I mean, how many minutes did he play? 47 minutes? I thought he needed to be on the floor and just not scoring. I mean, that's about somebody else. And I am not. Chris Webber was the reason we're here, the reason we could have won the series, and that's all I'll say about that.
Rick, when you look back on this season, it's obviously the most successful in Sacramento history. Is it hard at this point to look back and have pride in that, or what did you tell guys about looking back on the season?
No, I think we accomplished so much, and like I told them, I saw as a team how much we grew during these playoffs. I saw individuals grow. You know, I mean, that's what you want to see out of your team and your players. And I mean, we had so many guys grow up during this time frame, and you know, we're not going away. I guarantee that we're not going away.
Coach, the Kings forced the overtime, so you like to have the confidence going into it. How did it overhit on them, right?
Oh.
How did it unravel exactly? What caused it? Was it the 6 foul calls to your number?
That probably had something to do with it. You know, it's a pretty good number. Of course, we did have to foul them a few times, but you know, it happens. I mean, they made plays, and you know, I don't know what to say. I mean, they outscored us 12-6, and you figure it out. I don't know. You don't need to talk to people about that. They all know we were missing free throws. You know, it was a lot of different people. That was the biggest problem we had. But you know, you're still right there. You're still there, and you know, that's something I'm sure we're all going to look back on and say, if only we would have done that. But it didn't happen. They made theirs, we missed ours, and they're moving on.
So, over the course of this entire series, can you look back and see, can you point to one thing that you think that was really the difference between yourselves and the Lakers? Because you said experience was not really an issue. What do you think was?
You want to get me in trouble here? I think it's pretty obviously what happened in Game 6. I mean, that's all I have to say. It was very obvious what happened, and you know, the game changed the way it was officiated the last 2 games. It's as simple as that. I mean, the Shaq gets in foul trouble the last 2. He doesn't come close to it. I mean, the rules are different, and you just got to accept it and move on. There's nothing you can do about it. Like Pete Krill says, you can't fight City Hall. All you can do is try to win, and our guys tried to win. But you know, I said that, but give them credit. I mean, I give Shaq tremendous credit. I mean, that guy in the last 3-4 games knocked down free throws one after the other. They made plays. I mean, you know, you can only do in their shoes what the officials allow you to do, and they took advantage of that, and we didn't, because we got the line. We didn't take advantage of it. So it's, you know, it's kind of like, I guess I'm a little ticked off, but I also understand we should have done a better job, and they did a good job. So.
Okay. So you mentioned the free throws by Shaq. That was going to be my question, but did his performance surprise you at the free throw line?
Yes. I mean, he hasn't been that consistent, and he was consistent especially the last 2 games. He was terrific. He only had one bad game, if I recall. But you know, when he's in there, I mean, he's making free throws. We've got a serious problem because he's going to score if you foul him and he makes those. Now you're getting your guys in foul trouble and you're in trouble. So I give him all the credit for stepping up like he did.
In the previous answer, Rick Adelman adeptly dancing around a potential fine for criticizing the officials. His coaching counterpart extends his own NBA playoff record by winning his 23rd consecutive playoff series as a head coach. The streak dates back to 1996 and is 6 ahead of the second longest streak held by Red Auerbach. Obviously, much more on this game later on in SportsCenter. Kings 112-106. Shaq leading the way, 35 points and 13 rebounds. Some of his post-game comments.
I don't like to miss chippies and miss free throws at the same time. So even though I was missing chippies, I was saying to myself the whole game, I just got to concentrate at the line.
Shaq, what was the difference about this series than previous years that made this a 7-game series so tough? Are the Kings the best team you've played during this run from your vantage point?
They play at a very high energy. They've played well all season. They just felt it was their time. Throughout the history of the game, in order for it to be your time, you have to go through a team. And they played us well all season. They played us well all playoffs, and they just felt it was their time. But it's not their time.
Shaq, after everything that happened in the first 6 games with all talk officiating, what is your assessment on how it came about today?
I made the comment the other day, I've been in the league 10 years. I only complained 6 times. So you guys won't hear another complaint from me for a couple years. But, it was a hard-fought game. It was a well-fought game, and pressure was on them, and we just wanted to come in here tonight. We play well on the road. We realize that in any hostile arena, we're going to pull close together. We're going to have to do everything right. And this is a fun place to play.
Shaq, can you talk about, for you, how did the thrill of winning this series, because it was such a grueling series, and I asked you a couple days ago what it would mean if you were able to come back and win 2 games. What did you say about the Lakers team, this Lakers team, that's been able to come back after falling behind?
Says that we never give up. And we've been through so much my years as a Laker. We've been through, in the first round, getting swept, guys saying Cancun, Kobe shooting air balls, Dennis fucking Rodman, Kurt, Dale Harris. So, we've been through too much to, let it slip away. And ever since we met Phil, he taught us that new focus and taught us how to, become champions. And that's what we've been doing these last couple of years. So that's what I told the guys the other day. I said, listen, man, we've been through way too much. And we stepped up these last 2 games.
One of the drawbacks of live TV, we apologize for Shaq, and Mr. Dictionary has failed us once again. Phil Jackson reaches his 9th NBA final, which is 2 shy of the record Red Auerbach reached as a head coach. Jackson's 8 championships, just 1 shy of Auerbach's record of 9.
On the all-time home run list, he's 2 behind Frank Robinson.
For 5 games, Barry Bonds has stood 1 big fly shy of Frank Robinson in the record books. In fact, the Giants as a team haven't homered in the last 5 games, their longest such streak in 4 years. On Sunday night, Bonds and the Giants sought to snap that streak against the Rockies and John Thompson, against whom Bonds has homered twice lifetime, both last year. Homers number 25 and 57 of his season, numbers 519 and 551 of his career. Pac Bell, the site for Sunday Night Baseball. Bottom of the first, his first at-bat against John Thompson. Base hit. Next batter, Jeff Kent with 2 on. And Kent visits the gap. David Bell come on down, 1-0 Giants. So there are 2 on now for Benito Santiago up next against John Thompson. And Santiago got it. 3-run shot. 4-0 Giants, 1 out into the game for them. Here's what teammate Ron Dunston had to say about that.
Hercules. 75.
Little nutty professor for you there, I think. Barry Bonds coming to bat in the 7th with history on his mind.
That ball is high in the air. Toward Death Valley. Back door! Wow, what a shot! And Barry Bonds has tied the Hall of Fame great Frank Robinson.
John Miller with the call of career home run number 586 for Bonds. Giants snap a 4-game losing streak and beat the Rockies for the first time in 6 tries this season. Barry Bonds 3 for 4, a home run, and 3 runs scored. And welcome to Podium Center. Barry Bonds now at the podium in San Francisco.
It just feels weird. Feels like you're a candlestick in Pac Bell this whole year, and the win has just been tremendous here. It's just unusual. The ball's not carried like it was last couple of years, and winds just really picked up out there a lot, and we haven't had any hot days here. It's been really miserable.
A lot in front of you now because Aaron grew.
No, I was shook up after I hit 500. After that, it doesn't really matter anymore. I just, trying to play to win, and, we worked hard, and, right now we're just in a little down spell, and hopefully we'll be able to pick it back up again and play like we're supposed to.
How about having Schmidt knowing that you're going to have him pitching his next outing against the Yankees? It seems like a good time for him to be getting into the groove.
I think our pitchers have done an outstanding job considering we as hitters haven't done our job. I think our pitchers have done a good enough job to keep us in the game. Even though teams have gotten leads on us, we've just got runs too late. Basically, we haven't really, scored runs when we needed. We've had a lot of opportunities to get back in the ball game early and never took advantage of our opportunities. I think our pitchers have done a good enough job to keep us in every single game. We just haven't played well enough to get them victories.
Barry Bonds needed only 192 games between his 500th home run last April and number 586 Sunday night. Bonds reached this mark in far fewer games than the other 4 players with at least these many home runs. Babe Ruth was second quickest, needing 67 more games than Bonds from his 500th to his 586th homer.
To the vet for the Phillies and Expos. 2 runners on, the number 8 hitter Todd Pratt. So with the pitcher Robert Person on deck, the Expos decide to intentionally walk Pratt. Bases loaded for the pitcher.
That's well hit. It is going to be a grand slam home run, Robert Person.
Person knew he had this one. First start since late April, battling elbow tendonitis. 3rd inning, 2 runners on for Pratt. This time, the walk not intentional, but they do walking. Here's Person.
Oh, don't tell me. Could it be? No, foul ball.
Person got enough of it, but ended up 15 feet foul. Later in the at-bat, Person strikes out. Phillies up 14-1. Person comes calling in the bottom of the 5th. Deep to left field. Back it goes. It's gone. Robert Person has just hit another home run. He's scheduled for his next start in Detroit next week. Larry Bowa says he may use Person as the designated hitter. Phillies win it 18-3. Person, the 6th pitcher to hit 2 home runs in a game in the last 20 years. Mike Hampton did it last year. Darren Dreifert the year before. Denny Nagel, the last pitcher to hit a grand slam in a game. He did the honors last season. Person, 70 RBIs, 2 shy of Tony Cloninger's modern major league record for a pitcher.
And Chavez Ravine, Kazuhisa Ishii, looking for his 9th win of the year, but he faces a pitcher. You know what can happen when that happens. Miguel Batista. Oh, halfway to Robert Person. Second career home run for Batista, 1-0 Diamondbacks. That's your score in the third. Paul LaDuca popped it up. Mark Grace peering into the Southern California sky without sunglasses. He just knew it pretty much seconds before it dropped. Might as well get out of the way. Bottom of the sixth, 2-0 Diamondbacks. Sean Green up with a runner on second, and the ball finds Grace again. Goes into right field. LaDuca scores from second. Dodgers down 2-1, up 3-2 in the seventh. Eric Karras provides insurance off of Batista. 3-run shot, fifth of the year for Karras. Dodgers win 6-3 as he becomes the first Dodger to win 9 of his first 10 decisions since Bob Welch did it in 1985. Eric Gagne nailed it down with his major league leading 20th save. Not all hunky-dory for the Dodgers, who say Kevin Brown will not return from the DL on June 11th. He still is fluid in that surgically repaired elbow. He did not go with the team on a 9-game road trip.
You may not need a program to identify the Seattle Mariners, but you do need a lineup card to find out exactly where they are hitting. On Saturday in Baltimore, in an effort to boost offense, Lou Piniella dropped Brett Boone to 6th in the lineup and Mike Cameron to 7th. On Sunday, Piniella reshuffled the deck again, putting Boone 5th, Cameron 2nd, and dropping leadoff man Ichiro to 3rd at 5'9", 160. Not exactly the prototypical number 3 hitter. To Baltimore we go. Bottom 2, Joel Pinheiro against Mike Bordick. It's gone, his 3rd on the year, and the Orioles leading at 5-0. Top 3, Mariners down 6-0, and it's Ichiro. Base knock, John Douglas gives up the base knock. Jeff Cirillo comes in. Top 7, Mariners trailing 7-5. 2 men on, Rick Bauer to Desi Relaford. That'll bring in John Olerud, and the M's down 7-6. Next batter, Ben Davis, trying to bring in Brett Boone, who's in scoring position, and tie this game at 7 apiece. Back through the box. Top 8, tied at 7. Olerud facing Buddy Groom. 2 on, a 3-2 count. Oh, very close pitch, and Mike Hargrove is not happy. Next batter is Brett Boone. Gone. Grand slam. Mariners lead it 11-7. They go on to win it by the final of 11-8. The Mariners' 19th comeback this season. Ichiro upped his league-leading average to .375. He's batting a robust .533 against the O's this season. The win allowed the M's to salvage a split in the 4-game set. Boone's grand slam, 3rd of his career. Lou Gehrig holds the all-time record with 23.
The Bronx, prior to Red Sox Yankees, Rudy Giuliani and Jason Giambi meeting. Giambi will give $1,000 a home run this season to the 9/11 fund, benefiting the children of the terrorist attacks. In the actual game, Ricky Henderson, 2nd home run of the season off of Ted Lilly, 3-1 game. Bottom of top 4, Ray Sanchez, the hot shot. Nice pick by Derek Jeter over to first for the out. Nice inning-ending defensive play by Derek Jeter. Top 5, man on second for Noma. Takes Ramiro Mendoza deep and gone. 8th of the season for Garciaparra. 6-1 Sox. Bottom 5, 2 outs. Frank Castillo pitched a brilliant game. Gives this fly ball up to Enrique Wilson. Ricky Henderson back, and his back hits the wall. Ricky, familiar with left field in Yankee Stadium, played there for many years, was taken to the hospital for precautionary x-rays on his lower back that were negative. In the 9th inning, runners on 1st and 2nd, mind you. Casey Fawcett coming home. The rare 1-2-3 putout in which nobody's within 180 feet of home plate. Boston got some ribbing from his teammates for that. Castillo gave up only 4 hits in 8 innings. Red Sox take 2 of 3, leave town with a 2-game lead. Boston's won 7 of 11 against the Yanks this season. The team's next meeting, July 19th in Yankee Stadium.
As SportsCenter continues, this is not what Winston Cup drivers want to see happen. We'll recap a tough day at the track they call the Monster Mile.
And, of course, more from Sacramento, where the L.A. Lakers came out on top in overtime in Game 7. Lots to discuss.
Don't miss Major League Baseball all season long on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
The MBNA Platinum 400 in Dover. Joe Nemechek coming into a pit after a wreck, 44 laps in, and we've got a foul. That's a foul. It was put out. Everybody's fine. Lap 214, Polster to Matt Kenseth, who started in the back because he blew his qualifying engine. Loses control here, and look out, hits the wall. Kenseth moved up to 11th, but finished 40th. 38 laps to go. Jimmy Johnson in second, running on fresh tires. Ricky Rudd is not. Johnson takes over the lead. 30 laps to go. Race is under caution. Big decision for Johnson. To pit or not to pit? Never thought I'd make a Shakespeare NASCAR reference.
Stay out, man. Let's do it. I agree. Step 4, let's do it.
Rudd would go in for new tires, trying for one last push, but at the restart he finds one of his wheels loose. No shot to catch Johnson. Rudd's crew chief, Michael McSwain, is displeased. Jimmy Johnson, however, clear sailing. How about that rookie? Jimmy Johnson wins in his debut at the Monster Mile. This after being in 10th place with 92 laps to go. He's a talent and a smart driver. We're really thrilled to have him, said Jeff Gordon, co-owner of Johnson's car and 6th place finisher in this race. Johnson also passed his boss in the series standings, currently in 2nd place, 136 points behind Sterling Marlin. Speaking of Marlin, Mets were taking on Marlins. Preston Wilson, former Met, acquired in that Mike Piazza trade. Oh, you might recall that trade. Saturday night, Preston Wilson hit 2 home runs as the Marlins win 9-7. As for Sunday, facing Outlider in the 4th, Wilson, got it. 3-0 Marlins. Wilson's 10th of the season, 14th career against the Mets, his most against any team. Bottom of the 5th, the dish of revenge is still cold. Wilson, with Mike Lowell on first, crushes one deep to right center. The park holds it. Wilson with an RBI triple. 5 for 12, 3 homers, 5 RBI, 6 runs scored in the series over the weekend against the Mets, which the Marlins take. As Leiter lost his 3rd straight start, Bobby Valentine chalked up the losing streak to, quote, a little dead arm period. Said Leiter, I appreciate him helping me out a little on that one, but I have to admit, I feel fine. Luis Castillo feels fine, now a 21-game hit streak.
Let's go to Cincinnati, the Reds and Braves. Bob Boone, former Major League catcher, and a good one. His pupil is Jason LaRue. Ron Hill for call at first, doesn't get to second. Top 5, Braves down 1-0. Javi Lopez. Back through the box. Junior comes up throwing. Andrew Jones headed plateward, and LaRue blocks the plate. Barry Larkin would say later that Junior's throw looked like a bowling ball rolling down the lane. Junior says, just call me Kingpin. Bottom 7, Damian Moss pitching. 2 outs, bases full, and it's Larkin. Clears the bases as Austin Kearns, Aaron Boone, and LaRue would score. Reds go on to win this one by the final of 5-1. Elmer DeScent, who lasted 3+ innings in his last start, goes 7 shutout innings. His ERA is 2.51. Junior 0 for 3 with an intentional walk, leaving him 3 for 23 since his return. Monday Night Baseball on ESPN, Mike Piazza and the Mets visit Chipper Jones and the Braves, the opener of a big 4-game series. That's Monday night, 7:30 Eastern, right here on the mothership, ESPN.
We don't know for sure what Andre Agassi was doing on his off day in Paris, strolling the Champs-Élysées, visiting Sacré-Cœur, perhaps taking Stephanie to the Louvre or the Pompidou. Who knows? But whatever the 4th-seeded Agassi did, Sunday sure turned out to be his most productive and successful day yet at this year's French Open. An interesting day at Roland Garros, certainly for Guillermo Cañas of Argentina, who had Leighton Hewitt on the ropes. Match point for Cañas in the 4th set. And Hewitt finally hits it into the net. Cañas in 4 sets. Hey, Victor, get up, pal. Nice play on your back. Gustavo Kuerten taking on Alberto Costa. Kuerten down 6-5 and serving. I'll make it 5-6, I guess. Costa would win the 2nd set, take a 2-0 lead in sets. 3rd set, Kuerten goes down in straight sets, 6-4, 7-5, 6-4. Kuerten Guga gets an ovation. However, He is bounced for only the third time in the Open era. The French Open loses its defending champion and its top seed in the same tournament, in the same round, when two different players hold those distinctions. In addition, number 3 seed Tommy Haas got bounced Sunday as well, going on to Andre Pavel. With a new road paved in the clay on Monday, Agassi takes on Paul-Henri Mathieu, one of 3 Frenchmen remaining in the draw. No doubt I botched his name.
Coming up on the program, Jason Kidd survived the taunts of the Boston fans to bring the Nets to the NBA Finals. Kidd talks about dealing with the abuse in our Sunday conversation.
And we'll head back to Sacramento. What a series. It went 7 games, and it went to overtime to decide it. Super stuff.
Left side to Fox. Horry has it back. A straightaway 3. Oh, yeah. Robert Horry's greatest hits tour rolls on.
The U.S. Open, golf's second major of the year, and Tiger's aiming to add to his Masters victory. But Ray Goosen won't relinquish his trophy without a fight. The U.S. Open Golf Championship, Friday, June 14th, only on ESPN. This golf broadcast is brought to you by Callaway Golf. Enjoy the game.
For centuries, terrible secrets have lain with them in their dusty graves. Victims of murderous crimes, mummified in their death throes. Now, science has uncovered new evidence. The scales of justice are tilting. Crimes are being solved. It's a world of medieval mysteries and prehistoric whodunits. The court is in session for Tales of the Living Dead, every Tuesday on the National Geographic Channel.
The action says it all. NBA action, only on ESPN. They are 7 of the best that snooker has to offer. And now they gather to compete for one of snooker's most coveted titles. The 2000 Premier Snooker League. Only on ESPN.
Bob Burns and Bob Estes shared the final round lead at the Kemper Open. Burns on the par 3 11th from 165 yards out. Burns has never finished among the top 100 money winners in any single season.
Oh, boy.
That would give him a 2-stroke lead. Burns later on 16, after a bad break on his approach for bogey, he would double bogey. 2 shots back, shot a 72. Bob Estes up short on the par 3 17 from 195 out.
Wow.
He would par on his way to the Kemper Open. I say goodbye to a great voice and a great man, Ken Venturi, making his final appearance in the booth after 35 years, and all of the players finishing up their round, including the Shark, saying thank you, Kenny. Venturi signing off for the last time. His honesty will be missed. Bob Estes' final round consisted of 17 pars and 1 birdie. This was his 4th career win. 1999 champ Rich Beam finished second round leader Greg Norman, ending at 5 under. Venturi's final event as the lead golf analyst at CBS.
Pirates and Cardinals. Matt Morris 9-1 in his last 10 games at Busch Stadium. Had his issues on Sunday. Top 1 scoreless 2 outs. Brian Giles rips that Uncle Charlie deep in God. Giles 14th of the year. Pirates up 1-0. Top 7 now tied at 2 after an Albert Pujols home run. Abraham Nunez lines the pitch to left. Pokey Reese scores. Matt Morris left after 7 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks. Top 8 still 3-2 Buccos. Nunez up again. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Up the middle. Craig Wilson and Reese come on down. Pirates go up and go on a win 5-2 and smell the hat. The Pirates take 2 of 3 in St. Louis, and better yet for them, Chris Benson at his best start since his return from his year-and-a-half layoff. 2 runs on 7 hits and 5 2/3. I feel real good, Benson said. Morris fell to 1-2 with a 6.14 ERA in his last 4 starts. Astros Cubs, Wrigley Field matinee. Matt Clement coming off his first career complete game and first career shutout gets Julio Lugo with a frisbee. Clement 7 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 6 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, and the bottom of the 4th got some offensive support from Moises Alou.
That is crushed. Center field deep.
First home run since May the 2nd. Top 9, Antonio Alfonseca gets Jeff Blum to ground into a 5-4-3. One of 3 DPs into which the Stros hit. And Alfonseca is 9th save, or 3 more saves than fingers. I don't know why I got to make that mention every time. The Cubs avoid a 3-game sweep thanks largely to Clement, who has won his last 3 starts, posting a 1.52 ERA in that span. Alou's hit safely in 9 of his last 11 games.
Well, the Lakers beat the odds Sunday night, becoming just the 15th team in 82 tries to win a Game 7 on the road. Now the odds are on their side as L.A. moves into the finals to host the Nets. In his previous 33 playoff matchups, Phil Jackson has never lost a series when his teams have enjoyed the home court advantage. Shelley Smith standing by with one of the reasons why Phil Jackson is still alive in the postseason, and his team will have home court advantage. Shelley?
Kobe Bryant's the Joe Montana jersey. What's significant there?
Comeback kid. You know, we're really looking forward to this series and coming back, and everybody believed in themselves. Even though we're down 3-2, we still thought we could win the series, and nobody had doubts, and we were able to deliver.
What was it like? Describe to me what it was like out there in the thick of it, even before we got into overtime.
Well, some moments it was exciting, some moments it was tiring. You know, but that's part of a war. You know, that's what this game was. It was just an all-out war. Both teams wanted to win, and momentum shifting back and forth, and we were able to pull through.
Phil Jackson was very animated, up a lot, calling a lot of timeouts, very un-Phil-like. How much did he help you win this game?
Oh, he was very into the game. His competitive spirit, you know, picked up a notch tonight. Just showed you how much he wanted to win the game. Himself, myself, Shaquille, and the rest of the players, we just wanted it so bad.
How much were you trying to get the ball into Shaq in overtime?
Oh, you know, that was our first look. Doug Christie was just chasing me all over the court. So Phil told me just to be a decoy. You know, stretch the defense out, throw the ball to Shaquille, let him go to work, and that's what we did.
All right, you see the series becoming a big rivalry in the future?
I don't know. We'll see next year.
All right, thanks, Kobe. Let's go back to the studio.
Thank you, Shelley. The Lakers have reached an NBA record 27 NBA Finals, winning 13 times. The Nets making their first ever appearance in the NBA Finals. Comparing the two teams' rosters, Lakers have 8 players with finals experience who have combined for 87 games in the championship series, winning 17 rings. Todd McCullough is the only player on the Nets with finals experience facing the Lakers as a Sixer last year.
Still to come on SportsCenter, we'll hear more from the Lakers after they survived the Game 7 in Sacramento to get back into the NBA Finals.
Jump, beautiful pass, a look away to Harris, and there is your triple-double.
Now that the Nets know who they'll play in the NBA Finals, Jason Kidd looks ahead to the matchup in our Sunday conversation. And later, someone who knows all about making great plays, the NFL's greatest receiver, Jerry Rice, hosts Plays of the Week.
Looking into the middle, Drury couldn't get it. Say score! Colorado wins the game! Peter Forsberg!
You are watching SportsCenter on ESPN.
The heartbeat of the best sports on ESPN.
In action on the women's side of the French, Jennifer Capriati, top seed, taking on Patty Schnyder. Match point for Capriati. Capriati wins 6-4, 6-4. Schnyder gets it into the net eventually. Venus Williams taking on Chandra Rubin. Break point for Venus in the first set. Venus with a power forehand, and Rubin can't even stay on her feet. Venus would win the set and the match 6-3, 6-2. Serena Williams against Vera Zvonareva. Set point for Zvonareva. But Zvonareva chases down, blows the running forehand past Serena. First set, Zvonareva. Third set, Serena serving up 5-1 and ripping the forehand. Serena wins, but struggles a little bit in the opening set, losing 4-6, 6-love, 6-1. So the 9, 10, 11, and 13 seeds all bidded, which means only 6 of the top 20 seeds are still breathing. 4 of those 6 seeds are Americans. Former French champ Mary Pierce became the lowest-ranked player in the tournament's history to reach the quarters She's ranked 132nd.
The White Sox finished up a rough week in Cleveland. Jerry Manuel called a team meeting after Friday night's loss that resulted in 8 earned runs in Saturday's loss, and things boiled over in the 5th inning when home plate umpire Phil Cousy called that Danny Wright pitch a ball. White Sox manager Jerry Manuel chirping from the dugout, and Cousy, "Get out of here!" Jerry Manuel puts the mild and mild-mannered, gets his 2 cents worth, and later Cousy tossed his third base coach, Wallace Johnson. "Yeah, you get out too." Bottom of the 7th, Tribe down 2-0, and it's Chris Magruder, who's injected some new life into this team since he came up the middle of May. Magruder's second, Tribe up 4-0. It's a 4-3 game. Runners at first and second in the 9th, and Frank Thomas right on the button, but right out to second, and Bob Wickman rejoices. So the Indians, winners of 4 straight, sweep the White Sox, losers of 7 straight. Both teams now at 500. Good for the Indians, said Bob Wickman. This could turn our season around. Bad for the White Sox, said Thomas. It's no fun to come to the ballpark when you're losing like this. Both teams now 3.5 games behind the Twins because the Angels beat them to take the season, to split the series in Minnesota. Aaron Seeley now 15-3 all-time against the Twins with a 2.84 ERA. And then in the 9th, Troy Percival came in the game, and he only has never given up a run to the Twins, now in 35 career innings.
He doesn't speak in third person, and he rarely speaks in first person. Jason Kidd believes in we first, not me first. In his first year in New Jersey, Kidd helped the Nets double their win total from a season ago. Kidd, who in 7 previous seasons in Dallas and Phoenix never made it past the second round of the playoffs, is now headed to the finals for a showdown with the LA Lakers. Mark Schwartz sat down for a Sunday conversation with this year's MVP runner-up, Jason Kidd.
Is it as unbelievable to you as it is to all of us?
Probably. I mean, it is unbelievable. I think, at the start of the season, we were just looking to try to win 41 ball games and go from there. But, this has been a great ride, and this is something that, as a kid, you dream about.
Have you ever played as well as you are right now?
I don't think so. I think, all the different experiences that I've gone through, good and bad, have helped me, with my game and being patient and, understanding the game is probably the biggest thing right now that, I have a pretty good grasp of the game, and it's kind of helped me. And also sharing that with my teammates, hopefully it's helped them.
In Boston, the fans were abusive towards you. They were certainly abusive towards your wife and your son. Were you surprised by how that got to be? Were you disappointed? Or did you on some level understand what those people were saying?
I wasn't disappointed. I understand where the fans are coming from. It is a fans game, and it is supposed to. They have every right. I wasn't bothered by them chanting, the different things. The only thing I was disappointed in was my family doesn't have anything to do with the outcome of the game. But Boston did everything that they could as fans to try to get under my skin, and they have every right to do that.
Did they?
I think so. I mean, it's freedom of speech. Everybody has their own opinion, but the one thing I was, again, disappointed is my family does, my son and my wife, they don't put the ball in the basket.
So now you know your opponent is the Lakers. You're looking at Shaq. You're looking at Kobe. I mean, you've never been faced in these playoffs with a stopper like Kobe. Can Kobe prevent you from doing the things you like to do?
Well, I think he presents a challenge. And, you talk about destiny and dynasty. And us being destiny and them being a dynasty, I think it's, a great matchup in the sense that you have the greatest athletes out there performing. And, the one goal is the championship.
Do you think people will still say Jason Kidd couldn't do it in the West, he's only done it in the East because it's the East?
I don't care where I'm at. I've done it, no matter if it's in the West, the East, the North, or the South. I have this great opportunity, and that's to play for a championship. The likes of Charles Barkley, he calls me and reminds me that, and, I got to enjoy this as much as I can because, you never know what can happen next year. And so, if we win it, great because, then nobody can say anything. But there's always going to be critics, and there's always going to be people who I can't satisfy. But the biggest thing is I've satisfied myself in understanding that I can get to the finals.
Thanks, guys. It was the first time a conference final game went to a Game 7 in the NBA, and wouldn't you know it, it came down to free throw shooting. More on that.
And who would know more about making great plays than Jerry Rice, the Hall of Famer to be, hosts our Plays of the Week. Looking into the middle, Drury couldn't get it. Say score! Colorado wins the game! Peter Forsberg!
The Blue Jays beat the Tigers 7-6 as Eric Hinsky homer off of Jeff Weaver, top of the 7th. That's news because it was the first home run that Weaver had allowed in 105 2/3 innings pitched, the longest streak seen in 5 years. The Blue Jays walk away with the 7-6 win.
To Arlington for the Rangers and the Royals. Top 5, 7-1 Rangers. Nefi Perez to left in the gritty, gutty, Rusty Greer. Run scored, 7-2 Texas. Bottom 7 at 7-5. Alex Rodriguez against Brad Boyles. Gone. Oppo, 18th on the year, and the Rangers pick up the victory by a final of 8-6. A-Rod leads the majors with 54 RBIs in 54 games. Over his previous 5 starts, Paul Bird had allowed 9 earned. He allowed 7 earned on Sunday, his shortest outing of the season. Arabu earns his 12th save in 14 opportunities. Mark Mulder won his second straight, improved to 4-4. The A's have wins in 7 of their last 9. Devil Rays had 55 hits in 4 games, but left 51 on base. Oakland, which trails the Mariners by 8 games, opens a 4-game series against Seattle starting Monday night.
Jeffrey Hammonds with a home run leading off the 8th, and the Brewers complete their first sweep of San Diego since they joined the National League in 1998, finished their 6-game roadie at 3-3. Manager Jerry Royster called it a great trip, saying, quote, "We're a last-place team. I'll take 500 on the road anytime." It is easily the lone statistic that jumps out at you from the box score of the only Game 7 in NBA Conference Final history, 16 for 30. That's how the Sacramento Kings fared on the free throw line Sunday night, the 5th worst performance by a team in Game 7 playoff history. Lakers shot 83% from the line, led by the 11 for 15 performance from Shaquille O'Neal, whose new nickname could be the Big Calvin Murphy.
They play at a very high energy. They've played well all season. They just felt it was their time. Throughout the history of the game, in order for it to be your time, you have to go through a team. And they've played us well all season. They played us well all playoffs, and they just felt it was their time.
We played a great series. We should have closed it out when we had a chance to close it out, but we played the best we could, and that wasn't enough. So there'll be many years for this to come.
You just gotta keep playing and stay positive and try to not think about everything. Just think about how you played and how 2 teams played, and just be proud of your effort. And that's what I am. I'm proud of our effort because I know the Kings came to play, and I know the Kings show deserve this series.
NBA Finals start on Wednesday night in L.A. We're back to wrap right after this.
Is brought to you by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Cold down easy. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, now available at MSN.com.
We've got Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals Tuesday night, 7:30 from the Joe in Hockeytown. The Carolina Hurricanes, Red Wings, 7:30 Tuesday.
Cart, Milwaukee 250. Paul Tracy's owner says he will appeal Tracy's controversial second-place finish last week at the Indy 500. Tracy from the start, past the pole sitter Adrian Fernandez, lap 189. Tracy's teammate Dario Franchitti having trouble between 3 and 4, hits the wall. Right front wheel bent. He's done, but he would have a shoulder to cry on with his wife. Paul Tracy takes the checkered flag, and he celebrates a Krispy Kreme donut moment. Tracy continues to celebrate, no doubt about this one. He picks up the victory.
Dan and I back in an hour. Baseball tonight is now.